And welcome to the J-Train podcast. This is J-Train Jared Freid coming to you live from the quarantine cabin in New York City. That's right. Every Monday and Thursdays, we're here with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say it every episode. Let me say it again. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how it all works. You tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone with ears, and then they tell a friend, a brother, a mother, a sister, a mama, a papa. All you got to do, make it your Instagram story. Let people know. Let them know. And you think, well, I only have 200. It doesn't matter. Everyone's looking. Everyone's judging. Everyone's like, what am I missing out on? Let people think they missed out. Tag a bitch. Tag a friend. Tag me. I'll hit it with a heart. Also, Patreon. We're killing it on Patreon. Luxury Lounge is a hit. Every Wednesday, people comment with their luxury complaints, and then I complain with them. It is a douchey duet. And in the Luxury Lounge, no one can say a problem is too small. There's no such thing. So every Wednesday on Patreon, I'm getting like 30 complaints an episode. It's great. So patreon.com/Jared Freid, patreon.com/Jared Freid. Be a part of the lounge. And we're working our way towards 1,000 members. So then I'm going to watch, I think it's Princess Diaries. I'm going to do a podcast that you would play with Princess Diaries. So go, patreon.com/Jared Freid. Also, I'm on the road. We're back, baby. Atlanta, Albany. JaredFreid.com, JaredFreid.com. Very excited for today's guest, an OKP, original key player. Back on the podcast, hilarious comedian, Megan Gailey. Thank you for coming back.
Hi, Jared. I'm so happy I got to see your, before fate. It was like cabaret, when he's like, I gotta go on. You swallowed and then you were like, it's showbiz time. I love that.
It's time to sing, dance, and dust. I
have a luxury complaint.
Please, I love a luxury complaint. This is what we do on Patreon. I love a luxury complaint. So and this podcast is, some would say, mostly luxury complaints. So yeah, this is what we deal in. So I would say I'm a professional. What is your luxury complaint, Megan?
Well, and it hasn't felt like the time to air this grievance publicly, but I got a new jar of La Mer.
Explain do you know what La Mer, please. It sounds like it's a cream of some sort.
It used. I don't know if it's as famous now. It used to be famous, and the story is that they used it on burn victims, and then bitches were like, "We need this." Just regular non-burn victims were like, "Give me the stuff. Give me the good."
Is it like a moisturizer?
It's a La Creme.
Excuse me.
And
a La Creme.
It's very expensive. A jar is $300. Mm-hmm. And I get it, and I open it up, and the glass jar had broken at some point, just a shard of it, and there were shards of glass in my La Creme.
Oh, so that's a full La Creme into the La Trash, because you're not sure where the glass shard could come up, or if there's more, if there's small. That's the problem with broken glass.
And you're putting it on your face. So it's you can't and so I got cuts on my hand, and then, I don't even think of myself as thrifty. I try and not be thrifty, but I'm not going to waste the other thing. So I scooped out the top, wrote a very, very aggressive letter to Bloomingdale's.
Absolutely, as you should. Mm-hmm. Did they send you a new one?
Yeah, I got a free one.
Oh, then that's good.
And I'm using that one now. I'm now in the free one, and I'm like, this shit feels better. Just because this was free, I love it.
It feels free. I would also say to you, and this is what we do in the Luxury Lounge, to your point, in addition to your complaint, Bloomingdale's should send you multiple La Mer. They should send you.
I registered for my wedding at Bloomingdale's. And I referenced that. I go, listen, Megan Gailey, I have brought you a lot of business to Bloomingdale's, okay? I got these bitches in Indiana. We don't even have a Bloomingdale's. We're on the website.
This is one of those things that you're very lucky to have emailed in as opposed to doing it in store. In store, if this is videotaped, this is a Karen video, no 100%. Question. And just you yelling, my La Creme had shards of glass in it. How could you? And I registered for my wedding day with you. I am a good customer.
My husband says that I am a walking Karen video waiting to happen. Like every interaction, he's like, is this it? Is this it?
When is the day? I think that about my parents too. My dad the other day, my mom texted me the other day. She goes, your dad got in an argument at CVS. I was like, did anyone look like they were on their phone near you? And she was like, I guess there was some argument about, him touching something before giving it to and I was like, just know Big Brother's watching. And you're not going to be right. No one's taking your side. I'm just letting you know.
Right, though. I am right.
You are right. Yes. That's why I'm happy for your email. But they should send you multiple Lemaire. It is actually, to me, it says a lot about the customer service at Bloomingdale's for them not to say here's because who wants to hear there's shards of glass in my La Creme?
And I reference that in my letter. I go, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what would satisfy me.
I don't know what will make me happy, but I need to be made happy.
I made it very philosophical to be like, you have fucked up on such a level that I don't even know if I can put La Creme on my face ever again.
There will be no La Creme on La Face ever in the history of my life. Well, I'm pumped to have you here. Everyone needs to go follow Megan. She's hilarious. At Better Megan Gailey on Instagram, at Better Megan Gailey on Instagram. You have a new podcast, which I love a new podcast. I love taking people from this show and adding to their library. I think I also love a podcast with a purpose. I don't we've done the podcast where it's like,
we chat.
Hey, tell me about your life. And, and we have the narcissist who thinks that, we got so much to say. No. This is a show with a purpose. It's called I Love a Lifetime Movie, and you're co-hosting with Naomi Ekperigin. Am I saying that correctly?
That's correct.
Ekperigin. And it is every Thursday. And please explain I Love a Lifetime Movie, because I think it's a great concept.
So we watch a different Lifetime movie every week, and then Naomi and I break it down, and because we're sanctioned by Lifetime, Lifetime found us and did this, and so we get
this is sponsored by Lifetime.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
Lifetime Movie Network, Lifetime. So we have all of the clips, anything we want to reference on it, they pull from their entire catalog, and then we've interviewed different stars of the movies. This week, Carrie Hilson is on because she has a new movie called Lust.
Wow. So especially with with Lifetime movies, they do a lot of stunt casting. So you're going to get when Nick Viall goes on a Lifetime movie. That's great.
They have to come stop by our little podcast, and it's really Carrie Hilson was on a press junket. I felt like I was in Notting Hill, and it's hello, we're from Horse and Hound magazine. But she sat down with us, and so we've gotten a bunch of soap stars, which it's just I'll put it up, and people are like, Cricket, and I'm like, who's Cricket? But they're just Young and the Restless fans that cross over to Lifetime, so it's fun.
This is amazing. I think this is a great idea. There was one Lifetime movie I watched, and I love that they can only go so far. So there's limits to Lifetime. You're there for which is actually comforting. It's like an SVU episode.
Right.
Our mutual friend Lisa Traeger has her own podcast about SVU, but SVU, the comforting part is there's a beginning, middle, and end. Every episode, the people, there's going to be a bow tied on at the end. With Lifetime, there's a comforting thing of knowing I'm going to get the sexiness. I'm going to get the small town, big city girl moves to a small town. But it's also not going to go into this place that I'm too scared or feel icky or, it's popcorn.
Right.
There was one where it was the next door neighbor was the guy that was there was cameras on the house. It was a whole thing about cameras on the house.
They love neighbor work. Neighbor work on Lifetime is huge. If you meet a neighbor, that person is a killer. or that person is going to fuck your husband. Like those are like, no one is bringing a casserole with good intentions on Lifetime.
This guy was setting up. Yeah, there's no casseroles. There's no like, hey, like the kids should get together. So this guy is setting up security cameras in her house. And that was like kind of, I think, the premise of the whole thing.
Great.
And
wow.
he's going through her drawers, and there's one scene where he takes her bathing suit, lifts it out, and he just looks at it.
Right. And you're
then
like,
yeah. And then there's a dream sequence of him, and we're supposed to like know he's a creep from this. And there's a dream sequence of him imagining her in a hot tub in the bathing suit. And I was like, this is so not what this guy does. Like,
right.
There's no way this guy isn't putting the underwear in his mouth.
Exactly.
And then jacking off, like, within 3 seconds.
It's trying to find her period underwear. Like a bathing suit is like clean, like he's definitely like, I got to get one in. I got to get a heavy discharge, Jay. I mean, what's nice about Lifetime too is everything is like 90 minutes. My husband will like turn on a movie, and if it's like a second over 2 hours, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I'm like so to the point now. I'm like, this is crazy. And they shoot you out of a cannon. Like every opening scene is like sex, murder, insomnia, like something is happening immediately, and you're like, wow. They waste no time.
I love it. This is great. It's called I Love a Lifetime Movie. She co-hosts it with Naomi Ekbergen, and it's every Thursday. So I think everyone needs to go subscribe. I'll have it on my social media. I'm going to have Megan's Instagram on my Instagram at Better Megan Gailey. Go follow. Hilarious comic. Let's do some emails. You ready?
Okay, yeah. I hope I can help.
I think you can help. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Hey, JTrain. I want to know what you and your special guests think of the common phrase, loving yourself first before you love somebody else. Do you believe in this? And if so, to what extent? Thank you for all you do. Sincerely, neither Beyonce nor Debbie Downer. So what do we think? I think this is a good opening question. I think this is like, first of all, like these phrases kind of get just come out because everyone's just looking for ways to like figure out dating because it's something you can't figure out. Like, just like you said, like, I hope I can give good advice. We can only give perspective. We don't know shit, and advice is easier to give than it is to take because there's so many emotions involved. When you say loving yourself first before you love someone else, that sounds good. What do you think?
Of course. I mean, I think it's something that people just say and it really doesn't mean anything. And it's also like I almost think people say it when when there is something that they do want to like give you criticism about, but they're like, they're not ready to take that. So I'll just say, love yourself. And hopefully they'll go to therapy and figure out what the other thing is. Like, it's just such a blanket vanilla thing. And it's like, I'm married and I found love. Do I love myself? I don't fucking know. Like, I definitely think my husband loves me more than I love myself, and I still found him. So I don't think it's not, I just don't, if you're rich too, that like people will want to marry you.
Money cures all. Yeah, this is something that rich people say to each other, it feels like. And it's like, you got to love yourself first. But I do think, I think the saying's flawed. Like, right. I do think loving yourself, like who loves themselves? I think we all have days where we hate ourselves. We have days that we're like fine with ourselves. There's days where we're like, look at me, I'm fucking killing it. Like it's ebbs and flows. I think accepting some insecurities, that is a bigger thing. Like accepting, like, hey, I'm never going to have abs. Like, I don't think like guy who's trying to get abs can really concentrate. Like who's like obsessed with, like, I'm using abs as like a very vain and like to me a frivolous thing. And I do think like when I was like 22, I was like, if I have abs, I'm going to get the perfect girl.
My life will change. Yeah.
Life will change. And then you realize, no, it won't change. You're not going to be more comfortable. You're not going to be a better boyfriend. You're not going to be a better relationship. You're not going to like accept people into your life. So I think like when you accept yourself a little bit more, you're like,
yes,
you're better, like, and you know your faults. Like, if I know, like, if, you know, like, there's like a question of like, I remember going on dates when I wasn't drinking and I wasn't drinking because I was like, I wanted to lose weight. And I was like, that's not really accepting, like, I need to, like, figure out how to, like, drink and eat right at the same time. You know, like, I'm not really accepting it. I'm trying to find, like, this, like,
a shortcut, like this a little bit.
this, like, 1 month, like, what do they call it? Booze-free January, sober January to get through.
I love how you couldn't even come up with the word sober. You were like, what do they call it?
What do they call this thing? What do they call this thing I'll never do? Yeah.
I do think, like, knowing yourself is a sentiment that is important. And you see people that, like, enter into long-term relationships in their very early 20s or even in college, and it's like, you're going to change so much that, like, at 30, you very well may not be that person, and you were that person then, but you've evolved into a different person, and you do need to, like, know your quirks and know what you want and know what is going to be compatible for your lifestyle. And I guess to some extent that is, like, loving, because it implies acceptance of that. But I think knowing yourself is just as important as loving yourself.
And sometimes it takes a relationship failing to figure that out about yourself. Yeah. Like, you get through a relationship, you go, wow, here are 3 things I need to do for the next one. And this all goes under the, like, loving yourself. Like, if someone loved themselves so much that they had no awareness, I'd be like, they're not going
to find love. Yeah.
No. I think, having self-awareness is the key to loving, is like the key to loving somebody else. Like, here are my faults. Here's what I'm good at. Here's what I'm bad at. Here's what I've done badly in the past. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. We have a lifestyle question. We love a lifestyle question here on the podcast. Okay. You ready? Roommate's date is an asshole.
Oh boy.
First of all, I love your podcast. It really cheers me up every time I listen. So thank you very much for that. I'll try to make it quick. About 7 months ago, I moved in with a friend from school and also university. A friend from school and also university. So I'm guessing
high school and college.
Okay, so we're pretty close. Or you think
they're British?
They feel British for right now.
Yeah.
I moved in with a friend from school and also university, so we're pretty close, and her brother. We get along very well, and it has been pretty cool sharing a place with them. A few weeks ago, my friend's brother started dating a girl. He invited her for dinner, and the truth is I really didn't like her. She reacted very defensive whenever someone asked her questions. She never said thank you to anything and acted like she was doing us a favor just by being there. I normally very chill and hate conflict, but these types of people really annoy me, and the perspective of sharing more time with her in the future bothers me. He is meeting her like 3 times a week normally at her place, so that's great, but the relationship is getting more serious. My approach right now is avoiding the problem, and my instincts tell me I should stay quiet. I can tell that she was a bit lonely before, so I get that she maybe he is tolerating. I could tell he was a bit lonely before, so I get that maybe he is tolerating things that he normally would not. I've known him for like 15 years, but we're not that close. Well, it's weird that you're not that close. He likes keeping his dating life to himself most of the time, but I wonder if there is a way of starting a conversation to see if he notices some red flags, but without forcing anything. What do you think? What should we do when our roommate is dating an asshole, and at what point is it okay to respond when your friend date is being rude to you? I would love to hear your opinion on these. You're always on point with your advice. Thank you so much for reading this. So what do we think?
God, I mean, this is like, I do think them saying he likes to keep his dating life private, like there already is a boundary there. So you do have to be respectful of, like, you can't just cream her in and be like, I don't like this bitch, you know?
I love the phrase cramering in. You can't just crame her into someone's life.
And I mean the non-cancellation cramering in.
Sure.
So it's like, this girl's not coming around. You're not very close with this person. It's like, you may just have to let this relationship play out. And, like, there's just people you have to hang out with sometimes that you don't like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the things that her saying that they're not very close, even though they're roommates, number one.
Yeah.
And the idea that, you know, he keeps his dating life pretty private. Number two, I think you have to catch the ball. You don't want to throw the ball.
Right.
Like, it's got to come to you. she asks, can you say something if someone's being rude? You can defend yourself. You can always defend yourself. Here's what you can do also. You can say, I didn't enjoy her company. And I think, like, if I'm going to give reasons for you not enjoying her company, I would think, and this is an immature thing, that this girlfriend or this woman he's seeing felt uncomfortable that there are two women in his life that he lives with. And she felt insecure, and that's her problem. So her problem doesn't have to be your problem. I think the next time they offer to do dinner together, you say, I'm out. No problem. Make up an excuse. And if it gets to the point where he's like, I've been trying to get you to get to know my friend. Hey, now you're catching the ball. Here's the reason I haven't gone to dinner. That first dinner, A, B, and C happened. And I figured it wasn't my place to say anything. You seem to be happy. You seem to be having a fun time. But I just wanted to remove myself from someone that I didn't feel I was going to get along with.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation where she gets rude to you, it's okay to say, hey, this isn't very nice.
I don't like how you spoke to me. We say please and thank you here. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
like you're their mom.
I mean, in the meantime, talk shit with the sister. Like, his sister is fun. Also there. So it's like, if anyone's gonna overstep, let it be the family. Sure. And if the sister's fine with this girl, then, like, you kind of, for him, then you have to be too. But you can go, she's not my cup of tea. Okay,
not
Britain.
My cup of tea is a great line for this person, because and then they can ask why. Again, you want to catch. You don't want to throw. Like, let the sister go, what do you think of so-and-so? Not my cup of tea. Why? Well, did you notice? And you need examples. You can't just... Because
I didn't like her vibe. I hate Yeah, that's like a real... Her aura. Her aura was bad.
You could tell Megan's in L.A. by the word aura. Yeah.
I know.
No, all that... I don't like her vibe. I don't like her aura. That's all like, and again, this isn't fair, but like when that happened, when women say that, you go, oh, she doesn't like this person. People make assumptions that might not be true. Oh, because she's good looking, because she's dating my brother. And I think when you get into specifics, you go, she didn't really say thank you. It felt like a little bit of a rudeness. I don't know if you got that too. And then people go, I didn't notice. I'm going to be on lookout for next time. And then maybe the sister says to her brother, hey, have you noticed, now the sister has a leg to stand on because it's family, it's blood.
Or the sister says, oh, you know what? He said she's shy. And like, she felt like a little on the spot. And like, I've hung out with her since. And it was like on her turf, or we met in a neutral place and she was like chiller and nicer.
The J Train podcast is brought to you by Hello Tushy with a reminder, Mother's Day is May 9th. Mom wiped your ass for years. Return the favor with the perfect gift for Mother's Day from Hello Tushy. I gotta say, my mom's done everything in the world for me. My mom is there even when I don't ask her to be there. And that's why we gotta give it back. We gotta make sure Mother's Day is a special day, and it can't just be the same old, same old. I think this is a perfect idea for Mother's Day. Bring your mama into the future of toileting. You might think like, I don't want to think about like my mom, wiping her butt on the toilet, but this is something that literally changes lives, makes your life better, more convenient. You're saving them money. The Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment is stylish, eco-friendly, easy to install, and affordable. It cuts toilet paper use by 80%, pays for itself in a few months. Hello Tushy 3.0 doesn't just cleanse your butt with a precise stream of fresh water. It cleans itself with the Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle, and it's easy to install. Even your parents can put this shit together, but also you can do it for them. This is gonna be a fun day. You get it before, you bring it over, you put it together, you say, Mom, head into that bathroom, take it for a ride. It attaches to your existing toilet and requires no electricity or additional plumbing. Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. And if mom already has got a tush on her pot, you can upgrade her now to the new 3.0 model. Join millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now and have a clean butt with every flush. Your mom's dealt with your shit for years. Now give mom the gift of a clean butt from Hello Tushy. Go to HelloTushy.com/JTrain to get 10% off. This is a special offer just for you. Go to HelloTushy.com/JTrain for 10% off. That's HelloTushy.com/JTrain. The J-Train podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right? You don't want random passerbys looking in on you, so why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom with the door open. Did you know that your internet service provider like Comcast or Verizon knows every single website you visit? And what's worse is they can sell this information to ad companies and tech giants who will use your data to target you. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices. It works on everything, phones, laptops, even routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can still be protected even if they don't have ExpressVPN. And the best part is using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing the bathroom door. You just fire up the app, click one button, you're protected. ExpressVPN is the world's #1 rated VPN by CNET, Wired, The Verge, and countless others. So, if you're like me and believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself by visiting expressvpn.com/JTrain today. Use my exclusive link right now, expressvpn.com/JTrain, and you can get an extra 3 months for free. That's expressvpn.com/JTrain. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com, JTrain Podcast at gmail.com, here with Megan Gailey at Better Megan Gailey on Instagram. The podcast, I Love a Lifetime Movie. Love this. It's with Lifetime. You can trust it just like their shows. Go, subscribe, follow, get involved. I like this one. Taking it slow or not interested.
Ooh.
Met this guy in February. We went out to a bar and our friend group started talking. Oh, we were out at a bar and our friend group started talking. I think that's a great way to meet someone. It's fun. But the problem with the friend groups, combining at a bar randomly is there's room to keep it casual. There's room to play, blissful naivete where you're like, now we're in, and guys do this all the time.
I thought you were going to say there's room for a friend to get in a fight with a part of the other group. Like my friend.
Oh my God.
I always have a friend
thought.
who's like, fuck that guy, Megan. I hate, you know what? He may be fine. His friend, he's a piece of shit. And you're like, okay. That's what happens when we would have friend groups combined.
I feel like you hang out with like the gang from Good Will Hunting. Like, what are you talking to you? You from Southie? We hit it off and made out that night. He got my number, told me the next day that we should plan to see each other again, but he had a giant certification exam in 2 weeks, and he wouldn't be free until it was over. See, this is where I'm like, the title, Taking It Slow or Not Interested, you meet his friend groups, so, okay, that's like option for casuals there. Mm-hmm. Gets your number, told me the next day that we should plan to see each other. That's a
but
we
I need
should.
2 weeks.
Yeah, but I need 2 weeks because of the certification. We should is to keep people on the hook. We should do a trip. We should. Yeah. And that's kind of like inventing a fantasy of how good of a... It's like guys do this when they're like, I know what a good boyfriend would be, so I'm telling you I know, so you'll stay with me more because I have the capacity for good boyfriendness.
And he's already made out, and he's not going to meet a new person in the next 2 weeks when he's just studying. So he's like, I already got somebody. I just got to keep them around for a little bit.
Got to keep it on the
hook.
It is smart. It's smart. These are all moves, though. So we waited 2 weeks, saw each other again, then planned another date, but it also ended up being 2 weeks later because of our schedules. He seemed to only want to hang out on the weekends. Okay, that's an issue. We just had our third date, also 2 weeks later because I got COVID. LOL. On this last date...
LOL.
On this last date, we went back to his place and made out again, but I said I wanted to take it slow, and he said he was totally fine with that. I'm looking for someone to date, so I want to make sure we're both thinking of heading in that direction before going further sexually. Totally fair. That the dates are great, and I really like him when we're in person, but his lack of effort to try and hang out makes me think he's just stringing me along. If he doesn't try to see me more frequently, is that a sign that he's only in it for casual fling? Should I cut it off now to not waste my time, or should I just keep with the slow pace and see where things go? So what do we think?
Okay, well, they said that it was because of both of their schedules, that it was the 2 weeks, the second time. And then they said it was because they got COVID. So it's like a lot of these timeline things seem like they're dual imposed. And it doesn't seem like it's just him doing this. So I think that you just communicate that you would like to see each other more frequently. And then he either meets that expectation or he doesn't.
So what do you think about the weekend dates? So like let me first start by, before that question, I am not a proponent of like playing detective on someone else's interests. Like what she's saying, she's like, because he doesn't do A, does it mean he feels B? I don't think there's such a, straight line between those two things. And I don't think it's ever going to work out in your favor to like live that way. You'll never win that way because there'll always be a new feeling that you don't know that you're trying to figure out. To me, right now, this person is telling me, I'm having fun when we see each other, but I'm feeling kind of meh about how he's pursuing me. That's okay to say. And when you say, put it in your terms, because like, let's start at her terms. Her terms are, the dates are fun, but I don't feel pursued, and that feels badly. So, okay, that's okay. To me, the weekend dates, those are fun, but again, this all lands into the world of casual, and you want a weekday date. I would say, what do I want that would make me feel more pursued? And it's not even like 10 texts in a row. It's saying, hey, I've been having fun.
Let's go out on a Wednesday.
I want to do drinks this Wednesday. Like in your perfect boyfriend world, could you text a guy last second, hey, let's do drinks tonight, and it works out and you have fun, right?
Yeah.
And if he won't do that, and I think what's hovering over this email is the idea that they've done date 3 and sex didn't happen. So now it feels like, and I would ask you, like, as in the female shoes, it's gotta suck when the guy's like, and the guy's doing all the right things. He's like, you don't want to have sex, whatever you're comfortable with. But it's gotta suck to be like, okay, now this is all in my hands. Like, not like we want it all in your hands. I'm saying like, I'm not talking about in consent wise. I'm talking about like, oh, I'm the arbiter of when sex is okay. So I'm kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop that like you have sex and then you drift away.
This wasn't a strategy of mine, but I just would have sex immediately.
Yes.
There were multiple men that I dated that I had sex with before we ever went on a date, and it got to the point where they were like, Megan, I would really like to take you out, and I'd be like, this is kind of fine too.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's comfortability with that. Like I'm sure there's women out there that are like jealous of that viewpoint. Like, oh, I can have sex first and not feel like I'm like looking 6 months ahead. Like, she's saying that her everyone deserves their own comfortability.
And I think she likes this guy too. And I think she's like, part of it too is I think she's like, you need to put in more work before we're going to have sex.
Absolutely. And I need to know that like, you're not going to like just bolt after sex. And I think like, I think she has to communicate a little bit of that. Like, hey, I'm having a great time with you. The sex is kind of hovering because I kind of feel like you keep making plans. Like
maybe one foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, and I'm looking to like get physical with someone that I'm actually dating, and he might run away from that. That's okay though. Like you're better off for having them run away. But like I think starting with what does fulfillment mean to you? And I think like going back to what we said in the beginning, like awareness. Like she's like, she writes, I want to make sure we're both thinking ahead, thinking of heading in that direction before going further sexually. That's awareness. That's exactly what we're talking about. So you're saying, hey, this is how it works for me. This is the puzzle piece that I am. So I think like saying to him, like, hey, like it feels a little weird. I only see you every 2 weeks. Like start with that. And then it's like, I'd love to do drinks on like Wednesday if you're around. Yeah. And he either does it or he doesn't. Then then that becomes like fourth date. You go, so like, are you like, how do you feel about what we got going on here? Like, I'm enjoying your company. Do it in I terms, too.
Yes. Take a little ownership of it because the scheduling does seem like it's both of them. Great point.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com.
We're changing people's lives. Oh my God.
This is what it's all about. Well, it's about rational conversation. We don't want this podcast is not the person at the brunch table being like, dump him.
No, you have to take the emotion out. Yeah.
Totally.
No, it's very, I mean, like, I married a friend. I married someone that I had been friends with for 8 years, and then we started dating. And so the nice thing when that happens is that they know everything about, like, you're really like, this is me, I'm a cunt, and they're like, I love it, or they don't, you know?
Yeah,
and the same me for him. It's like, he loves pizza and sneakers. I either want that, or I'm like, what?
Well, it's also like, it's almost like when you date a friend, and this is why friends with benefits kind of like heads for disaster sometimes, is when you date a friend from years before, it's like having the menu outside the restaurant. Like,
I love that.
you know whatever, you know what's on the menu, shoes and pizza. You go, yeah, I know what I'm getting into. You didn't go in, sit down, ask for a menu, then go, I don't really want it. That's the difference. You know, that's kind of what dating apps and getting introduced is sitting there and going, do we have to leave a tip even though they brought the water already? You know, like, it's like, that's the beauty of it, and where it becomes detrimental is friends with benefits. You go, you read the menu, you liked it enough to come in. Why won't you eat here?
Right.
You know? JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Megan Gailey at Better Megan Gailey. Go follow the podcast. I love a Lifetime movie. I love a podcast with a premise. I think this is great. I think everyone will enjoy it. Went on a travel date together, then ghosted help.
Oh, that's tough.
That's a tough one, but it's actually more normal than people assume 100%. It to be. Yes. People do this thing with trips where they go, we're going on a trip. I'm guilty of, like advancing this narrative because I always make the joke. I'm like, every relationship is like first date, second date, third date, sex, fourth date, fifth date, sixth date, Instagram post, seventh date, eighth date, ninth date, trip. I understand that feels more important. Family trip. I've known this guy, 35 years old, from my fitness social circle for about a year. And we started DMing through the pandemic. I live in Texas for now. He's in NYC. Okay. This is so ghostable.
That's not a trip. That's a long distance.
I ran into him when I hear you. I think it's going in a different direction, though. Hold on. I ran into him when I visited in March. So she lives in Texas. He lives in NYC. Ran into him when he visited in March. We started chatting. It was an instant connection. We exchanged numbers. It's weird that they know each other from fitness social circles for a year.
But they live in different places.
States.
So do they love Peloton? I'm like, is it Soul Cycle? What's going on?
Yeah, that's interesting. Or are they part of they train with a trainer who does group fitness online?
Yeah. Or like CrossFit, and their CrossFit gym is owned by a guy who's friends with the other CrossFit gym.
There's a lot of different ways.
Oh, fitness, like dangerous, beautiful mind is happening over here right now.
I live in Texas for now. He's in NYC. Ran into him when I visited in March. We started chatting, and it was an instant connection. We exchanged numbers. Long story short, we planned a trip to meet up together in Miami. We text daily for 3 weeks, including some long phone calls. We spent almost the entire weekend in Miami together. We got to know each other pretty well, kissed a lot, but didn't hook up. Okay. Very wholesome. He invited me to be his wedding guest in Mexico and asked me to come whale shark diving with him as well. I asked him twice if he was serious, and we discussed this briefly, and I said that, yes, I'd love to come. However, I have no immediate plan to move back to NYC. When he asked if I'm coming back, so she went to Texas because of the pandemic, and this makes more sense.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
When he asked if I'm coming back, I said I didn't really want to. I would for him, but didn't say that. I think you're a little ahead of yourself. Okay. After Miami, the texting slowly started to trickle down, and I haven't heard from him at all in 2 weeks. He's very introspective. I don't think he's a fuckboy. We are both looking for a supportive relationship. I know that Mexico probably won't happen now. Yeah, I don't think so. But did he ghost me? I didn't want to lose the contact with him, but I'm shocked that a 35-year-old man would invite me to a wedding then disappear, especially since we have mutual friends. Is it because I live in Texas? Would we rekindle if I moved back to NYC? Megan Gailey, what do you think?
Well, I don't even think you should be worried about rekindling if you move back to NYC, because he has handled this situation in a way that it sounds like hasn't made you feel great.
Yeah.
So that it's like, it's at this point, it's over because like, unless he apologizes and has some like, I was in a coma, something to say.
Sure.
It's made this lady not feel good. And so it's like, you're not going to be with this person.
Sorry to interrupt, but that is such an important point. She needs to admit this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like right now she's in this like, where is he? We did all this. You should be mad. Someone you took a trip with and spent intimate time with, you didn't have sex, but you did make out, is disappearing on you.
And you made future plans for another trip that requires a passport.
Exactly. During a pandemic. So
yes.
With PCR tests. So listen, my biggest problem with her, because we can only speak to her, he is not acting maturely. Fine. My biggest problem with her is she's afraid to hear the answer from him, so she came to us.
Yeah.
So you need to get mad. Hey, where have you been? It's kind of weird that we took a trip to Miami and you've kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. She's so upset, and she writes, she's at chapter 10 when she needs to go back to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is he disappeared after your trip. You're talking about moving back. Could we rekindle? No. You are at. You should.
You broke up. You broke up.
You have to think about breaking up with him. Like, hey, do you? And ask yourself: do you want to date someone who would disappear after a trip to Miami? Yes or no? No. Hey, man. It's been a while. I feel like you're phasing me out. I feel like you're phasing me out. I was looking to get to know you more. I'm not going to come to Mexico, by the way, LOL. You can write that. Yeah. Because I don't want to do on a trip with someone who would disappear out of my life in this particular way. He'll come back with excuses.
I've been busy. I was the pandemic. I got the shot.
Sure.
All these things. But it's like, and you can say understandable, but the way it was handled is just not something that made me feel good.
If she wants to know what's going through his mind, I'll give you a few things. You made out on a trip to Miami, okay? So, which is fine. But that is one of those, like, you can do whatever you want physically. I'm not going to tell you, there was no mistake made because you did what you felt comfortable doing. What I will say is he then goes back and rethinks this. He goes, okay, if we do another trip, if we do the next thing, this is automatically serious. So, he's making the decision. It's kind of like the last email with like the woman being like, I want to do a date on the Wednesday. Like, and I'm only going to get physical with you when this gets serious. Like, it's okay for someone to opt out. You'll be better off for it because now you know what they're looking for, or that they're not looking to get serious with you, which is fine. But just know, if I left a trip where I made out with someone in Miami and then I would go, well, okay, do I see a future with us? It would force me into future thoughts that I wasn't doing before. You may think and you're using his age twice, so I think that's important to the emailer. A 35-year-old man would invite me to a wedding then disappear. His age doesn't matter.
They do this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Larry King was on his 12th wife. So I the idea that his age has relevance here. It doesn't. He was getting to know you, went to Miami, realized this is going to be serious. This is either going to be serious or nothing. And it seems like he's opting for nothing in the least mature way possible.
Right. And it almost doesn't matter what he's decided. It's what he's done to not communicate that is the issue. It's like, it could be that you live in Dallas. It could be the XYZ. It can run the gamut and it doesn't matter, but he hasn't been upfront and communicated with you. And that is what the issue is.
The J Train is brought to you by Upstart. Do you dread looking at your credit card statement every month? I don't blame you. Upstart can lift that weight off your shoulders so that you can finally feel the relief of being free of credit card debt. I can tell you right now, this is a great opportunity because Upstart, listen, it might help you, it might not. That's the beauty of it. You're going to look into it. Right now, if you have debt and you're paying high-interest credit card debt, you can combine all those rates and see if it matches this Upstart rate. And then the Upstart rate, if it's better, you go with that. And you pay it off, and now you pay Upstart. Upstart is a fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple, fixed monthly payment. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day and can receive funds as fast as one business day. If debt is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. This is just a way to see if you can save yourself some money. So go check it out. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/JTrain. That's upstart.com/JTrain. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know I sent you. Here's the fine print. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/JTrain. The J-Train podcast is brought to you by Pandora Jewelry. Mother's Day is coming up, May 9th. Everyone loves their mom. I love my mom. You love your mom. And it's a hard thing to figure out what to get a mom. You love her, but you want to make sure she knows how special you think she is with something different, new, authentic, and fun. Your mom has been there for you your whole life, and I guarantee no matter how long it's been since the last time she saw you, she misses you right now. She wants to squeeze those little cheeks. Give her something that will always remind her of how much you love her with a gift from Pandora Jewelry. Jewelry for mom makes the perfect gift, and Pandora's charm bracelets are a lasting way to share memories. Every charm from Pandora is handcrafted to commemorate life's milestones. From hearts, angel wings, or a family tree, Pandora has hundreds of charms to personalize your gift. That's the beauty. Personalize it. You can tell a story with these charms. Pandora also has rings, bracelets, and earrings in a variety of styles and finishes. Let mom know you'll always be by her side with a message of love that she can wear every day. Shop safely in store with Pandora's styling experts to find the perfect gift for any mom on your list. Thank the mom in your life for always being there with a sparkling gift from Pandora Jewelry. Mark your calendars. Shop online or in store between April 22nd to the 26th and receive a bonus gift with your $150 Pandora Jewelry purchase, a limited edition sterling silver bangle. Go to us.pandora.net/JTrain. Let me say that again. us.pandora.net/JTrain to start shopping or find a store near you. That's us.pandora.net/JTrain and give mom something that shines as bright as she does. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, here with Megan Gailey. I love a Lifetime movie. This one's called Is This Weird? Dear Jared and guest, I love the pod. I'm forever thankful to my friends who told me to start listening. I had a great first date with a guy I met off a dating app. There was chemistry. He kissed me at the end, so I assumed he also thought the date went well. But I have not heard from him yet, and the date was 2 days ago. At the start of the date, he told me that his phone had just broke and showed me that it wasn't working. Wouldn't it be funny if guys started bringing like 2 phones on a date, showed you the broken one, just to get out of texting you?
That is so wild. That's
Wouldn't it like? Wild. Did you think that too?
I
like
do
showing
think it's
you
crazy.
The phone.
And he was like, see?
Yeah.
It is weird. That is my response to the question. And I don't even know if that's the question.
Doth protest too much. Like, look, it is broken. It's like, we're on a first date, dude. I don't give a fuck about your phone. Yeah, like, is T-Mobile open? Like, but I have not heard that it wasn't working. So now I am wondering if his phone is still broken. If it got fixed, but he lost the app, we didn't exchange numbers yet, or if he's just interested in going out, just not interested in going out again. I found his Instagram. We go to the same school, so I could easily find his email and contact him, but my friends are telling me that is weird. I rarely feel excited about someone after a first date, so I would hate to miss an opportunity for a second date due to a technological error. We stopped seeing each other due to tech difficulties. Yeah. Do you think it would be weird to email him or send him a DM? Do I wait a few more days to see if he sends a message, or should I just accept the fact that he probably doesn't want to go out again? Megan Gailey, what do you think?
Oh, God, I forgot. I was like, can't you text him? But I forgot they didn't exchange numbers. Okay, I don't think you need to email him.
Emails out.
Let's
out. Your friends stopped you and made a good decision. Emails out.
But, like, she has the instincts that I would do. Like, I would totally be like, I'll just go to his house. He obviously doesn't have his phone, and I'll just stand outside and wait for him. But I'm like, I guess I don't think DMing him is crossing the line, but I do think that if he wanted to have gotten in contact with you, he would have. And I hope that's not shitty to say.
No broken phone has stopped a guy from wanting a blowjob. Like, that's just the truth.
Why didn't you exchange numbers? You know, like, that to me is fishy.
I always have a problem with dating app people who don't exchange numbers. To me, that's a way of, like, having a one night stand. And getting away from you. Like,
it's a wall.
You should exchange. I can't see any reason I wouldn't exchange a number after meeting someone nice on an app. And
I give my number to literally anyone on the street. And I'm sucking an unhoused person. I'm like, if you get a phone, text me. You know, like, you can just give your number. You're not Kevin Durant, you know, give it out.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. So he's already acting weirdly, showing you the broken phone, not exchanging the numbers. If a guy doesn't exchange the numbers with you, I hate that idea of, like, I only exchange numbers with people. Like, go fucking get out, get over yourself is really my thought. And so if someone won't do that, it's them trying to get away from you before they've even met you. So to me, but I also don't believe in trying to figure out the feelings in someone's head, as we've gone over. You had a good time. You enjoyed their company. He also might not want to go on a second date. So you have to, those three things have to stay in your mind. I like them. I want a second date. He might not want a second date. Okay. I would DM. Hey. Yeah. Just thought, and make it, I had a great time with you. I know you had a broken phone, so I mean, I know your phone was broken, so I didn't want to get lost in I didn't want our second date lost due to technical difficulties. Like, I think that's a funny, flirty way. To let him know I want a second date. I found you.
I'd be like, I found you with little binoculars.
That's fun. Admit to it. Admit to the creepy. And then say, if you want a second date, I'm down. And here's my number, and drop your number, because you want things to move to text. Here's the problem with this advice. And the problem is people hear this, and then he gets back to her positively but doesn't make the date.
Then it's gone.
The problem is this guy will, he might still want to hook up with you and not want to date you. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So if he gets back to you and goes, oh, wow, like, now he's, like, kind of like hip pocketing you, like, for if and when. You have to go in knowing, I want a second date. He has to text me for that. If he doesn't, that is below what I want, unless you want to hook up, which is totally fine. And just
it sounds like they're in college.
Yeah.
I just, in college, I'm like, don't have a boyfriend. There's no need. Don't do that to yourself.
Just fuck on the first date. The Megan Gailey, we'll call it. JTrain Podcast.
Thank you. That's my memoir.
I love it. Fuck on the first date. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Let's do one more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I forwarded you an email with an attachment.
Yes.
Okay, you ready? This one's called He Lost Interest After His Ex Contacted Me. Okay, let's see. Jared, love the pod. Thank you for all you do for us podcast listeners. Hold on. I'm having all sorts of issues though. I went on one date with a guy named Matt. I've had a crush on Matt for a few months. 2 days after our first date, Matt's ex reached out to me on Instagram. She said he's a bad guy and I should be cautious of his anger issues. It remains a mystery how she knew we went on one date. He says he doesn't talk to her anymore. I asked Matt's friends about his ex. She knows her enough to ask the friends. I asked Matt's friends about his ex. They said she does this to every woman in his life and not to listen to her. She's insane. I told Matt his ex reached out to me. He sent me this sweet message attached, screenshot 1. I agreed to go out with him. So let's do, you want to read screenshot 1?
Yes.
I'll be him. You be her.
Sorry, I was already doing my line reading. I was so excited. Should I have not told you?
No, I'm glad you did. I've got to file a fucking restraining order or something. I'm really sorry this happened. I like you uncontrollably. It's literally all I've thought about the last week, and this shit happening sucks.
And I love that.
Oh, and then you sorry.
Yeah, I hearted it.
Maybe that seems a bit over the top. I'll rephrase. I haven't met anyone like you, someone who has the same values and sense of humor as me, in a long time. I really enjoy spending time with you. That sounds a bit less creepy.
No, it's sweet, heart emoji. Will Def still hang? I blocked her.
Okay, so that's screenshot 1. I agreed to go out with him again the following Wednesday, but he didn't really make a plan. At 5 p.m. on Wednesday, he texted me, sorry, parents dropped in last minute. I can't make it tonight. See screenshot 2. Okay.
Okay. Perfect size. There's no context for what she said before that, and they haven't had sex, so it's not about his dick.
Yes, but he does make it about his dick. That's what she said. Good, I'm glad. Gotta check it out.
Yes, it put me in such a good mood.
Hey, you. My folks dropped in randomly to visit. I haven't seen them in a few months, so I'm probably screwed for tonight. Frowny face.
No worries.
Very cold and a total 180 from the first text. I'm confused. What happened? Did his ex make him miss her? We haven't even slept together yet, and he already changed his mind about me. Has he lost interest? Should I have not told him about the ex reaching out? Megan Gailey, what do you think? Have you ever reached out to like someone seeing an ex of yours in any way?
But I've had multiple women reach out to me or like come, and there was a girl in the front row of my half-hour taping who dated my ex after me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And did you know that they were them? Like,
yeah.
Or did they met? Oh, wow.
Oh, I knew. I walked out and I was like, duh? I've definitely had women that like dated exes after me come up and want to talk about things. And I'm like, I'm good. Thank you, I'm good. In this scenario, I don't think it's about the ex. I don't think he misses his ex. Like,
no.
And if he does, then he's a psycho too. You know, like you're not like, I want a restraining order. And then like, actually, when you brought her up, I kind of missed her. Like that's not what's happening. I think it's shady to cancel a date at 5 p.m. I think that timing is like really inconsiderate. Yes. And I do think it's tough. Of course, she's going to say no worries, but it is like it was shitty to do. And it doesn't seem like he's made any plans since. So he's not being open and honest. And I think she needs to have a conversation with him and just be like, what's going on?
This ain't the guy. This guy's got other things going on. I agree with you. There's shadiness here. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. She's like, I don't buy, like, I don't like when people are like, she's insane. Like the friends, like she's insane. No. I don't like that narrative because there's 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, and the truth. The friends of his are getting his side of the story.
Right.
They don't get her side of the story. I'm not saying that she isn't wrong or hasn't made mistakes, but let's live in the world of empathy where there's a middle ground where everyone's 10% away from us. In the world where everyone's 10% away from us sanity-wise, I think her and him are still talking in some way. Oof. They communicate in some way. She is. I don't think he's blameless. And the reason I know I'm making kind of an assumption about him. First of all, we don't know about him. Second of all, he does this love bomby text.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I like you uncontrollably. They've never even had sex. It's literally all I've thought about. Then he takes it down a step. To me, it's very manipulative where
it is. That
is someone who isn't just doing that with you. he's doing that with the ex. He's doing that type of stuff with you. And then he's making up excuses. The parents came 5 p.m. before a date. Like,
they randomly dropped in, like,
and it's the only excuse you can't say anything to because it's your parents. What are you going to say? You're going to be the person who hasn't had sex with them yet that's saying, how could you cancel on me? You can't.
Yeah.
So this guy knows what he's doing, and I think it's not as much that he's chased away. Like, I think a guy like this comes back, but I do think like a guy like this isn't worth dating because you're not getting the whole story. Like, I think this ex that reached out to you is getting DMs or getting responses to her Instagram story. There's something going on that we don't know. And I think when someone, you know, we reference Maya Angelou a lot, but like on this podcast.
Beautiful. I love
that. When someone, what is her quote? If someone says they love you uncontrollably, but they cancel the date, believe them. You know,
like, I was like, set them free. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you have to believe who he is. And there's, 3 weirds make a breakup.
And the situation seems messy. Here. The situation seems messy. It's like, you went on one date and you got a DM? Girl, that seems annoying to deal with. Yeah. Like, is he worth it? No.
And it's not here's the thing. No one's, we tend to think like in the bell curve of life, we always assume the tail ends. For this girlfriend to be as crazy as he's saying she is, she'd have to be like in an institution, like jumping around with heart shape. She took her lipstick and made hearts over his face. Like that's not who she is. She and him have something that's still, it's an open tab relationship. The tab is open on the web browser, and you're getting brought into this because he's trying to find more women. Get away. It's not worth figuring out. And stop communicating, block, delete.
Yes.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Megan Gailey, thank you so much for coming on. This is fantastic.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Everyone go follow Megan at Better Megan Gailey, the podcast I Love a Lifetime movie with Naomi Ekperigin. Go, follow, subscribe. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday and Thursday. We'll be back next episode. Boom. Don't forget to like the video you just watched. I have many more. Subscribe to the channel right now. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, you fool. There's even a bell you can click to. Now you've got your week set Monday through Friday. I'm here for you.